Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is the fourth video just this week that I have uploaded using the Paletteopoly palette from Ace Beauté. This is part of my series called The Week Of, where I upload a whole week of videos using just one eyeshadow palette. That playlist is linked down below in the description box along with many other things. If you've never been here before, hey, my name is Rachel. I really enjoy playing with colorful eyeshadow. This is the look I'm doing today. I try to upload several videos every week that are all eyeshadow related, so I hope that you'll consider liking and subscribing before you go. Let's get started. I'm going to prime my eyes. Everything I'm using is linked below in the description box. Can you guys see the staining? My eyelids are both stained from yesterday's look. Yesterday I used, like the deep purple shades as well. If you guys hear sort of a running fan sound in the back room, that is my air conditioner, and usually I turn it off for my videos, but we are in the middle of a heat wave and have been for quite some time. Today's heat index is 111 degrees. There is no way I'm turning off my air conditioner. I've got two little kids resting upstairs, and even downstairs is quite warm, so no. I'm sorry about the noise. Hopefully it doesn't bother you too much, but it's just what it is today. Okay, let's dive into this palette. This is my fourth and final look using the Paletteopoly this week, and I think that I should, notice I say should, I feel like I should play in more of the blue pinky tones, because I have used this entire row, most of this row, and then yesterday I did purple and berry, so I feel like I should grab some of the blue and pink shades. That's what I'm planning. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to start with a blending brush that's pretty large and loose, and I'm going really lightly into the shade Leg Warmers. I want to put this at my inner crease, but it's not a light tone shadow, it's more of a deeper mid-tone, and I don't want to have really dark color in my inner crease. I just want a lighter wash, so I went in quite lightly, and I'm using a big brush that I can use to disperse the shadow more evenly. Always deepen it if I want to, but right now I'm going to leave it at this because I don't like really dark color at my inner crease. Now I'm taking a Blend Bunny B1. Everything I use, I think I said, everything's linked down below in the description box. If it's something you can buy, it's a link. If it's discontinued or whatever, it's just mentioned. But if you're curious, just have a look down there. Here's the B1, and I'm going to take the shade Shoulder Pads, which I have not used yet. And I'm going to put this in my very outer crease and outer V. I was looking through this palette. I think I've used most of the shadows in this palette just this week. There are definitely a couple shades I haven't used. There were one or two that I swatched and decided not to use, but I think, I mean, I have to go back and look, but I think I've used probably 70 to 80% of the shadows in this palette just this week. So I'm happy about that. I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos. I've had a lot of fun playing with this palette. I know I've been saying for ages that this is a really good quality palette, and I have actually held off on using it on days off or when I'm not able to film, or even just for videos, because I knew that I was going to do a week of Paletteopoly and I didn't want to use up all of my ideas too soon. Now with a Blend Bunny B3, I think I will grab Friends again, just lightly. This is a pinky purple tone, but it has a bit of blue in it, and I think it's going to help me bridge the gap between these two colors. Not that blue and purple really need a lot of help bridging the gap. They go together so beautifully. Then I'll wipe off my brush and buff the edges a little bit. With that smaller brush, I'm going back into Leg Warmers just a little bit. I want a bit more of the blue pigment, but I don't want it to be really heavy, so I'm tapping in quite lightly into the pan and then carrying it into my crease a little bit more to intensify that shade a little bit. I do have to say, this palette has some truly stunning purple shades. Like, they are really beautiful. Okay, I'm going to take that for what it is. Right now I'm going to grab a flat brush, and I will take the shade Walkman. And I'm going to load up my brush and then spray it. I don't think I've used this shade at all yet. Spraying the shadow after it's applied to your brush can help it set and be placed down more precisely with less fallout. I'm going to put Walkman starting at my inner corner and lay this over probably about 2/3 of the space that's left uncovered. My daughter is sitting near me and she's reading Nancy Drew. A friend from church is letting her borrow like 36 or 34 Nancy Drew mysteries. And I just remember sitting and reading mysteries. I didn't read Nancy Drew. Not many, maybe from the library, but I didn't own any Nancy Drews. What I had was, I had Edgar Allan Poe and I had Agatha Christie, and I had this Oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of it. It was a series, the word detective was in the name, and it was this teenage boy. He was always talking about his high top sneakers. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know. I can't remember what it was called, but he did, like, not so much murder mysteries as, you know, as Agatha Christie's was, but he did various detective sorts of stories. And of course I had Sherlock Holmes. Now I'm taking the same brush and I'm going to grab acid wash and spray this as well. But definitely Agatha Christie and Miss Marple. I've always loved mysteries. I've always had several mystery books on my shelves. As an adult, they often tend towards murder mysteries. I love watching Poirot, the Belgian detective written by, that was Agatha Christie too, right? There was Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries on, was it Netflix or Brit? I think it was on BritBox. And what else? Midsomer Murders. My sister was trying to get me to start watching Vera, which I think also was on BritBox. If you don't know, I grew up with British television. I like British television. I didn't get a chance to watch Vera before I ended up canceling my subscription because we were cutting back on some unnecessary expenses. But I really enjoy mysteries in general, reading them and watching them as shows. Murder on the Orient Express, of course. I don't know. They're like the Poirot series and the Midsomer Murder series. They went on for ages. They were what, 10, 11, 12 seasons long. They were long running series. And David Suchet, who played Poirot, it's really impressive that he was able to play that character for so many years. That was like his career. With this blue laid down, I'm just buffing it into the purple, and then I keep dipping back into the pink Walkman shade, and then I go back and work the pink into the blue so that it transfers nicely. But the Midsomer series has had, I think, three actors as the main character. It has been quite some time since I saw any of those because we haven't had BritBox for a while. But I've always enjoyed those sorts of stories. I find them tantalizing and interesting, exciting but not gruesome. It's not like horror stories, you know, like horror movies or horror books. I don't want anything gruesome like that. Just cruelness and gore for the sake of it, that's not what I want. I want the involvement of my mind. It plays into me intellectually and it's interesting, and that's what I enjoy. This is looking pretty. At first I thought it was looking a little bit, I don't know, a little unexciting, but I think I'm liking it. Let me do something on the lower lash line. What should we do? Honestly, there are not too many colors in this palette that I would like to put on my lower lash line for, you know, one color all the way across. I like the As If shade, which is the bright, vibrant yellow. Leg Warmers is okay. I think it's a little bit too dark. There are not very many really light tones in this palette, and I prefer, at least in the inner half of my lower lash line, I prefer lighter shades. I'm gonna do both, actually. I'm gonna take a small pinch blending brush and grab As If. I think I used this shadow in 3 of my looks now this week, but it is a really great shade, and it's giving me the lightness that I want, and it's also giving me some fun contrast as far as the colors, because this is a very blue-purple look, so to bring in yellow is a bit of fun. Once this is laid down nicely, I will go into Leg Warmers with that same brush. I'll start that on my outer corner and meet the purple. See, this Leg Warmers shade is a very beautiful blue, but if I had carried it all the way into my inner corner, it would bring down the eye look. Visually, it would look heavier. And I think I'll wing this out into a bit of a reverse cat eye. My fan turned back on again. I'm sorry about the sound. It is what it is. I'm taking a very small blending brush and I'm going to grab the shade Scrunchie, which is hands down my favorite shadow in the palette. I could easily see myself hitting pan in this shade. It's the yellow shimmer. It's so great. I've sprayed Scrunchie on my brush and I'm applying it to my very inner corner and onto a little bit of the yellow lash line. So I've got that beautiful brightness in there, and it's a bit more contrast again with the other shadows that I've placed down in this area. And now when I've got this Scrunchie shade about till, like, I don't know, a third of my eye or so, I'm going back into VHS, which is that shimmer that I used in yesterday's look. And I'll spray this as well. This VHS shade has a bit of a green undertone to it, which is why I'm using it between the yellow and the blue. I think it's going to bring in kind of a cool color, honestly, and work together with what's already there. So I'm placing that at the edge of the Scrunchie shade and finish off covering the yellow and then work it over towards the blue. But I don't want to carry the shimmer all the way to the outer corner, so I'll just leave it here. Well, it's all very sparkly, but I'm going to choose a waterline color and I will be right back. This has been a very successful week for eyeshadow looks. I love how this turned out. I love the blue, pink, purple, unicorn, saltwater taffy sort of thing, and then the pop of yellow into a slight hint of green on the lower lash line. I think it's beautiful. I just think it's beautiful. Let me tell you how I finished it off. I put white in my waterline, and then I did a very, very, very thin eyeliner with an inner wing and an outer wing using this micro tip liquid liner from Moira Cosmetics. A friend gave this to me. It's linked below along with everything else. This is fantastic. This is, I mean, in my very limited experience with eyeliner in general, this one's great. I'm really enjoying it. It's so easy to work with, and because it has such a short felt tip, it's very manageable and easy to control. So I'm very much enjoying this. On my lips, I'm wearing 2 items from ColourPop. I have the glowing lip in the shade Tickled Pink, and then I have the lip oil in the shade Paper Pansy. And then on my face, I used both the blue and the purple highlighter from the Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Here's my look. I put on some mascara, obviously. I think it's lovely. I know I said that before. I really do. This has been such a great week for fun, colorful eyeshadows. This palette is so versatile. I've been saying it, and now you guys have, what, 4 this week, and then I've probably done at least 3 other looks using this palette. In the description box is also my Ace Beauté playlist, where you will find all the videos that I've done using the Paletteopoly palette. It's great. It's just great. Do tell me below. Tell me what has been your favorite look this week. I have done 4 looks using this palette. So which one have you liked the most? The green one was highly requested. And then I think my first look was sort of more pink leaning. And then of course there was a smoky eye yesterday. And of course this look now. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. I really appreciate you being with me. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you'll consider subscribing and liking this video if you haven't done so already. And I will see you guys again very soon in my next video. Bye!